Good morning and welcome to this weekly market update from MRC Markets. Today's the 14th of March 2014. What we'll do today is go through some technical analysis on Euro dollar, cable, dollar Swiss and Aussie. Just going to review what's been going on in the markets this week and give some sort of outlook for next week. I will not make any trade calls or recommendations in this video. You trade at your own risk. If you please read a full disclaimer on our website, which is www.mrcmarkets.com. that would be appreciated. Also, for any new followers out there, we have 3 moving averages on each of these charts. It should be a 50, not 55, that doesn't really make much difference. So you've got a 50 simple moving average, the purple is 100, and the gold is a 200 simple moving average. Okay, then let's have a quick look at the Aussie then. So this, not the Aussie, the Euro dollar. So this is the weekly chart. I mean, it's always good to keep some perspective on each of the pairs, I think, just by looking at the weekly. Not a massive look, but we'll scale down through the charts. We do the weekly, daily, 4 hour, and perhaps the 1 hour as well. Sort of been speaking about in terms of this weekly. Was this setup here? We've been speaking about this for the last sort of few weeks now, last few months even. Yes, there was this bearish setup that was sort of capping the euro at the 61.8% retracement at the 1.3832s. So we capped here some sort of double top, but we then got supported by the 50%, which was also previous resistance. You'll notice around there, so previous resistance turned into new support, and we got that key weekly close above this level, and you can now see this 61.8 is now acting as support as well. You can see this week we came back down, this candle tested this level, and it's holding it above it currently. I mean, it's currently from a doji candle. You can see so where the current price is pretty much near the opening price, and we've got a sort of upper wick above and below it as well. So and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I personally think it will hold above, and the odds are that will sort of grind higher really. And then the only let's flip it to the daily now. I mean, if you notice, the last sort of few weeks have been really bullish candles, so the odds are that we sort of stall. The odds are for us stalling become greater the more sort of green candles you have, I think, and that's what sort of happens. So we're stalling a little bit at these highs. So let's flip it to the daily, and what I'm personally focusing on this daily in terms of fib setups is this one from here. So you got this one here from previous low to new high. Because the dips have been really good. I mean, we've spoken about this one numerous times. We had this one here, bam, that was off to 50%, and if you extend it to that one there, then that was a nice sort of move up. I mean, it did pierce below. I think it was off of 78.6. Actually, no, what am I talking about? That was the move there, off the 50%. So you just extended your high. That 50% pretty much off the pip there to the pip. And we rotated high, and we're now closed above that high, which is quite interesting, because that's the new sort of support as well, which coincides with that 61.8 that we were talking about on the weekly. So that comes in at 1.3832. So it's a key level that you can see we've had 2 multiple tests here, and it's now acting as new support. So keep that in mind, that 1.3832s. See, in terms of newer fibs on the daily, this is definitely a recent swing low to swing high, key swing low to swing high. And why I also think it's interesting as well is because we have previous support at the 61.8 and previous support and resistance at this 50%. So if we do come down and test here, then it should be quite an interesting level at the 1.3720s. But as you can see, we're sort of holding at the 138s. What was it? The 138. Well, you can call it 138.50s. It's been a great line in the sand. I mean, I do like to look at the round numbers, and that's definitely it's been a great one this week for sure. You can see the last 4 days we've had pierces below these 138s and closes above. So I expect a bit more of a pop. Although yesterday's daily candle was quite a bearish one. Although the lower wick is white, sort of holding up, I think. So yeah, I mean, if we're going to come down and test this 50%, then I would expect it over the next few days, if it's going to happen, but it doesn't have to happen. The current daily candle's nice and bullish. If it closes like that, then I'd expect it just to continue to rotate higher and take out those highs at the 1.3966s. In terms of shorter term moves, let's just zoom back out. This 4 hour has been decent. We've spoken about these dips numerous times, and it's just good to refresh the memory of those. So we had that one there off the 50% was good, and if you extend your high and then move the low up as well. So that was a nice one off the 61.8s, and then if you extend the high again, then look at the next little new mini dip. This was a lovely move off the 61.8s. So the next one I'll be looking out for is this one here. It's not the greatest of fibs, but it's still interesting to keep an eye out for. You can see the 50% as previous support as well. So that's how I've currently got my sort of 4 hour and 1 hour chart set up. But as I say, it looks like it's not going to come down to the 50% now on this 1 hour. But what I'm now looking at in terms of sort of shorter term selling opportunity, if you want to flip it to even shorter term chart on 30 minute, if you think it's going to come down, but if you're looking for sort of this is for today really, to be honest with you. This fib here on 30 minutes from the recent swing high to swing low, it's a nice down move, forming a bit of a double bottom. Looks like it's going to grind high, and it could easily grind higher towards this 50% level, and that comes at the 1.3985s. So 139 is definitely a level that I'm keeping on my chart for today, and maybe for Monday if it doesn't get to that. That's definitely one setup I'm looking for. And yeah, that's pretty much the euro, to be honest. So we've done that on pretty much all the time frames. Cable, I've left this chart up from last week because nothing has changed in the slightest. Okay, let's have a little brief look at the weekly. What happened? What's been going on the weekly? So you can see the last few weeks we've been speaking about nothing's changing really, just chopping around at these highs. But it looks like it's stalling a bit, and it has come down this week for sure. And if we flip it to the daily, it's the same setup as the 4 hours. So we kept up these round numbers because we said they've been acting as really good support and resistance, and you can see that quite clearly. As we had some lovely support around here, in decent resistance at 137.50, and as you can now see that we've come back down into these 166s, and it's currently holding the pound against the dollar up. And you see this level here, the 166.50, is also previous resistance as well, and acts as nice support around this sort of level as well. So if you flip it to the 4 hour, just zoom out a bit as well, it's the exact same setup. But if you're a shorter term player, then and you like trading 4 hour candles, then you can see it's been working out really great. So this 166 is a really good level. You can also see what 200 SMA is supporting as well. But yeah, in terms of this, I'm still keeping an eye on this fib, although it's not the purest of retracements, as it's sort of chopping around. But and also another level I'd keep an eye on, the 166.50s, because you can see I think we came quite near it. But it's just another round number just to keep out there in terms of fuel. Oops, what have I done there? No, it's 165.50. Sorry. Yeah, it's 165.50 to keep an eye out on that one as well. But yeah, it's just chopping around really, it's just playing the levels. Nothing major to look out for in terms of the 1 hour. The 1 hour, I think this was a nice setup, and that wasn't off a fib. Actually, if you flip it to the 4 hour, no, the 4 hour closed above as well. I must be thinking of another pair. But yeah, that's pretty much the outlook on cable. So it's just, if it comes back down, and keep an eye on the 50%, but it's currently getting supported at the 166s, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a rotation towards the upside, and then maybe test one of these levels here, or even break higher. But it would be interesting to see what the close, the weekly close is like as well. We could easily get a pop up. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Dollar Swiss is just in slow grind lower mode. We've been speaking about it for the last few weeks really. The only thing I'm really interested in on this weekly chart is this fib move here. And of course you have to remember this is the move against this one here, which is the reason why we're sort of coming down on this dollar Swiss in terms of the weekly off that 61.8. Remember, the sellers are just grinding this one lower. So yeah, the counter move is from that swing, the 2011 swing low, the low of the year, to the high of the year in 2012. So the 50% comes in at 0.8519. So of course we're still a long way away from that, but it's definitely good to keep it in mind. And then the other level I'd keep an eye out for is the 0.86 level. Reason being is, as you can see, it was a nice support around here. If you look there to in this sort of 2011, we got a nice bounce off of that 86 level, and a nice rotation higher towards that 2012 high. So keep an eye on that, because we could, I know buyers who are looking to play off the 50%, they could front run that quite a bit and want to buy off the 86s. In terms of shorter term charts, in terms of daily, nothing major. I mean, I'm always keeping an eye on the big sort of round numbers. So yesterday we had today, sorry, we've had the 87s. No, yesterday, sorry, what am I talking about? 87s pretty much to the pip. Lovely bounce off them. I mean, it's a nice reversal candle, to be honest with you. Very decent reversal candle, so I would not be surprised to see it pop up over the next few days. And then if it does, I mean, in terms of the daily fibs, I'd say this is the most clear recent swing high. Of course, we're still a way away from the 50%, but that's definitely one I keep an eye out for. You can see the 50% also has previous resistance as well, and previous support. You can see previous support there, previous resistance there. So I would not be surprised to see it rotate higher towards this 50% and get some sort of interesting reversal off this level. And also it could coincide with that's the 55. I mean, I normally look at the 50. Not much of a difference, but the 50-day moving average there could act as some sort of confluence. And in terms of the shorter term moves to the 4 hour, nothing major really. I mean, a lot of people would probably be looking at this fib here from this sort of recent swing high to swing low there, but it's not of major interest, although it does have previous resistance there, so it could be an interesting one to look out for. And then on the 1 hour, it's exactly the same thing really. I mean, a lot of people, they'll probably look at these sort of fibs here, but they're not my personal favourite, to be honest. So I look for the more clear, obvious swing highs. Aussie on the weekly, it's still sort of in grind high mode. I think it will come up towards this 50 SMA on this weekly, and then of course the fib I'm keeping an eye out for is this one here. So that's the recent swing high to swing low, and then that means let's flip it to the daily swing, see it a bit clearer. So it's clearly obvious the recent swing high to swing low, but it's getting chopping around at these sort of moving averages really, so it's getting some nice bit of support for the 50 SMA, getting held up at the 200, and now it's chopping around off the 100, so it needs some sort of clear breakout, I think, but it's currently just in chopping around mode. Nothing hasn't been great on the 4 hour, I don't think, and the only setup is quite interesting, I think, is on this 1 hour chart. I think this is off with a 50%. No, it's not even off that. But if you flip it to the 4 hour, yeah, it is. And you see a nice, not quite a hammer. It has got the decent lower wick, but it's not green. I prefer the green bodies on them. But it is quite choppy, and nothing major of interest. To be honest, the one key level to definitely keep an eye out for though is the 0.90 handle, key line in the sand, and you can see that. Instead of playing the fib, I'd rather look at that. Keep an eye on that, and to be fair, the round numbers have been quite decent on Aussie. You've got the 0.89 as well. That's quite a key support. You can see a nice bounce off of that, and funnily enough, that coincides with this fib move up here as well. Of course, we're still a long way away from that, but if you're looking at a daily chart, I'd definitely keep an eye on that one. And then of course you've got the 0.90 ones as well. So I'll probably keep this chart up. You can see we had a nice spike off of that. I think that was earlier this week, maybe on the Monday or maybe last Friday. So definitely keep it. In terms of daily chart, I'll probably leave this up for the next week's video and see what's happened. Because that's pretty much the perspective in terms of your 3 key levels and a decent fib move. And that's been quite technical, to be fair. You can't complain about that. Okay then, that's all for today. I hope you found that video useful. I hope you have a great rest of the week trading, and I'll catch you next Friday. Thanks for watching.